you can see in the right side. So after I click send, in the left side I can able to see the message. This is a custom message template. So this is a continuous videos in my previous playlist. So those who haven't watched the videos, please go and watch. So in the last video I mentioned guys how we want to create the JSON structure for our template. So before going to this video, please make sure to watch this video and this video, right? So in the playlist I just mentioned guys, so you can see this is a WhatsApp Cloud API 2022, right? So if you go to this one, you can see these are the things I covered in WhatsApp Cloud API, right? So in the first video I covered what is the WhatsApp Cloud API, and second one how to set up and how to handle error and how to get the Postman collection, how to get the permanent token, and how to send that message from the Android device, and after that how to send the custom message template, right? So this is a part 2 of this video, and please make sure to watch the 6th video and the 7th video. So you can see in the description of this previous video I provided 2 links. One is for getting the full playlist and second one is for getting the document here. So if you click this tweet, you will see this one, this tweet, right? So here I mentioned the YouTube video and the JSON document, right? So if you click this one, you will see this Medium post, right? So in this Medium I provided the document link and the video link and that JSON format, right? So this is a JSON format which I explained in the last video, right? So those who don't know about this video, please make sure to watch the previous videos, right? So if you follow this number 6 video, you will get the same exact code here, right? So now what I am going to do is I just going to create a new activity, right? So I just right click here and new activity, empty activity. So here I am creating the empty activity because I don't want to confuse you guys, so that's why I'm going to create that new activity. So I just keep the name as it is, main activity 2, and I just click finish. So the main activity 2 is created successfully. So if you expand the manifest, right, so actually what will happen in the manifest is, right, so when you create one activity, that will create a XML entry here, right? So this is activity name. You can see the manifest and tell how many activities are in the project, right? So if you see this one, there are one intent filter, right? So what I'm going to do is, so before this activity tag, I mean that the activity which I created before, right? So I just delete this one and make like this, right? So make like this, right? So nothing complicated here. And before this activity tag, I just created the end activity tag for the newly created activity. I am going to cut the intent filter here, right? So actually intent filter tag is very important to open an activity. I cut here and paste it here, right? So and you can see I'm getting one error, right? So Android exported false, which means, right, so if you want to open the activity, right, so then you have to make the exported as true, right? So that's fine, the errors count, and if you wish you can make this one as false, right? So that's all. So what will happen here is, right, so whenever you run the activity, which activity holding the intent filter, right, that is activity will going to open after we run the application. So in this case our intent filter having this activity, right? So so if we run our application, right, so we will get the main activity 2 in the front page. So I just selected the emulators and I just run the app. So you can see my activity 2 is launched successfully. So you guys see I am going to create a model class for this JSON. So I just copy the entire text, and so one important thing, so if I created another model class over this one, you will get confusion, right? So that's why what I'm going to do is, for the demonstration purpose to understand, I just right click here and create a new package here. So in this package I just name it as offer underscore model. So I just hit enter. So you can see one package is created. So I right click this package and go to new and create generate Pojo from Json. So if you haven't installed this plugin in your Android Studio, so what you have to do is go to the Android Studio preferences, right? So after you go to the preferences, you can able to see there are one option called plugin. So you can select this one, or just you can search, right, plugin. After you click the plugin, you can able to see I already installed one plugin name called Robo Pojo Generator, right? So I already installed this Robo Pojo Generator. So if you haven't installed, please make sure to install. And after you install, you have to restart your IDE. Then you can able to see in the right click option. So I just again right click over this offer model folder and new and click the generate Pojo from JSON. So after I click this one, right, so I have to paste the JSON, right? So here I copy this JSON and I paste it here. So after I paste this one, you can able to see for the language is a Java, right? So and after the languages, so you can see getters and setters, right? So I only want to setters, I don't want getters, right? And I select the use Java primitive field and create setters, right? So and here root object name, this is the model class name, I mean root model class name, right? So I'm going to name it as custom offer model. So you guys see I'm using the naming convention, right? So for the C is a capital and O is capital and M is capital, right? So this is so if you follow this format, right, that will be a good readable, right? So custom offer model, right? So I just click generate, right? So this is showing incorrect structure, right? That's correct because you can see in here, right, number I commented, right? So for that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to here. So I'm going to number here and I just put an empty string here, right? So that's all, right? So I just click generate. So after I click the generate, it will take a small amount of time to generate this model class, our JSON data. So if you expand this one, you can see these are the model class generated after we paste that and modify this with the empty string, right? So moreover, so we name our root model class as custom offer model, right? Custom offer model, right? So here we have to do some changes because this Robo Pojo generator is a good one, but it will miss something, right? So for example, if you see this one, reception type, right? So if you come back here, you can see, so we want this kind of field, right? So I just copy this one, right, and I just paste it here. So after I paste it here, right, so this will showing error, right? So what I'm going to do is I just copy this one and paste it here, and that's all. So template is correct, right? So after that you can see messaging product, right? So if you see the messaging product, right, so that is messaging underscore product, right? So I just copy this one and paste it here and paste it here as well, right? So to type and template, right, everything is similar, right? So you can see in this structure, right, so this is a string, this is a template object, right? So and other things also string, right? So if you are using a Windows, please make sure to click with Control or Command, that will open this class, right? So you can see I'm going to open the template class, right? So if I open the template class, you can see if you open the template model class, right, you can able to see list of components item, right? After that string name and language, right? So first you will go to the language, right? So if you go to the language, like language having only one field, right, that is for the code, language code. So this is fine. I just close this one because you can see small code, right, code, right. So if you go to the language, this is a small code, right, so everything is fine. I just close this one. But if you come to this one, right, that's called list of components item, right. If you go to this field, right, you can see subtype, right. But if you go here and go to the bottom, here they are mentioning the subtype as sub underscore type, right. But here this is the different one, right, sub capital T type, right. So JSON is a key value pair, right, so you have to give the correct thing. I copy the sub underscore type and paste it here, that's correct, and paste it here as well. And after that, index type is correct. So now I'm going to click the parameters item. So if you go to the parameter items, you can see image is a class, datetime is a class, currency is a class, right. If you go to in Java, string also class, so you can able to see image class, right, and datetime class and the currency class, right. So as usual, we will start to explore from the bottom, right. So string we no need to explore here, just go to the currency. So in the currency, right, so I'm going to the my medium article as well, right. So you can see in the currency section, right, so currency is fine. Feedback value is feedback underscore value, right, not a feedback capital value, right. So I just copy this text and paste it here. So after that I paste it here as well, right, that's fine. And amount underscore 1000, right, so I just copy this one because this is not containing the underscore, right. I paste it here and here as well, that's fine. I close it. Go to the params item, right, date time, right, but this is not a date time, right, so date underscore small time, right. So I just copy this one, date underscore time, and paste it here, right, and paste it here as well. And if you expand this date time, right, again the feedback value, right, so I come here and I copy this feedback value and paste it here, right, and here as well. I close it, right. So the only one thing is pending, that is image. I go to the image, this is link, that's correct. I close it. So I'm going to mention one thing, guys. So spend too much time on this making this model class, because if you made a mistake in this class, right, so then you will get the different JSON type, right, then that is a different format, right, so then you will get a different output, you will get a different error codes, right. So please make sure to read each and every line carefully, right, while seeing this medium article, my responses, right. And that's all. And I hope everything is fine. I close this one template as well. Okay, so as of now our model class is fine. I just close this one, I just minimize this. So I open the main activity 2. So in the main activity 2 I want to go to that the layout, right. So I go to the main activity 2 layout, and here I'm going to create one button here. So that's fine. So I want to declare this button in the main activity 2. I copy this ID, and here I'm going to create one variable button btn, and inside on create I'm going to initialize it button find view id r.id dot and the id which I copied before, right. So here I just run the app and see. Okay, so you can see we can able to see our button. I minimize this one. So here I am going to create one method for getting the JSON data. I just click here and create this method. So you guys see, for the explanation purpose, I open my JSON format in the right side, and the left side I open my Android Studio. You guys see, so I just make a comment here, hit enter to make the space, and okay, that's fine, right? So here first one is a messaging product and reception type and to type, right? So for that case, if you click this project view, right, and expand the offer model, right, this is our root, right? This is our root folder, right? So if you open this one, custom model, right? So if you just scroll down, you can see custom offer model having the 5 properties, right? So I'm going to create an object for this custom offer model, right? I'm going to that main activity 2, and this is a custom offer model, and I name it as custom offer model. So this is asking to import this class in the top. If you are using a Windows, press Alt Enter. I am using the Mac, want to click option and enter. So this is imported here. Make sure this is from the offer model, right? So that's fine, and I minimize this one, and new custom offer model, right? So here, so custom offer model, I just call here, right? So I want to set the messaging product, right? So I just dot set, you can see messaging product, right? So in this case, messaging product is a WhatsApp. I just copy this text, and this is a string, right? So I have to put in this double quotation, right? That's fine. And after that, I want to type this one, right? Reception type. I copy this one, I again calling the object and set reception type. That's again the string. Actually, that's a integer, right? I wrongly copy the key, right? This is a key in the JSON. This is a key. This is a value, right? So value is integer. I copy this one, and the third one, this is a phone number, right? So here custom offer model set, we want to pass the phone number, right? For as of now, I'm going to use my test device phone number, right? So that's my current number. This is a type, right? Custom offer model set type. This type is a template, right? I just copy this one and paste it here. In the custom offer model, we set the reception type and we set the messaging product, right? And we set the to and we set the type, right? But you can see private template, right? So this is the template object, right? So here we have to pass the template, right? So here you can see in the second hint, right? This is spotting a template object, right? So we want to pass the template object here, right? So thing is how we can get the template object, right? So I just comment it now. As of now, I'm going to comment it, right? So I'm going to open a new comment tag here. If you take this template, right? So if you take this template having some parameters, right? Name, language, and components, right? So if you go to this custom offer model and if you click this template object, right? So template object having the 3 things, right? One is the name, right? So one is the name, right? That is a string value. Second one is the language, that is a language model class, right? That's a language object, right? After that, list of components item, right? That's a list of another object, right? That object name called components item, right? So we have to set these things, right? I mean the components name and language, right? So I'm going to create one model class for the template. You have to make sure this is the offer model which we created before, right? So if you mistakenly open this one, then you will get error, right? So make sure this is the package name, right? So offer underscore model, right? So which means offer underscore model, this one, not this one, right? This is the one which we created when we are working in the hello world application. Now we are working in the offer model, right? So that is inside this offer model, right? So I just minimize this one and hit enter. Now it's imported, and template and create object, right? So the new keyword. Okay, so template equal to new template, that is fine. You can see for the template we can set name, right? We can set the name. So name is the template name, right? So if you go to the developers.facebook.com, so I'm going to my apps. So I'm going to open this PMS tutorial. I expand this WhatsApp and click the getting started, and here I can click this link to open to our custom message templates, right? So here this is the one which we created before, right? If you go to here, you can able to see this is the template which we created, right? So cancel this one, right? So this is our template name, right? So in the top you can see this is a template name, right? So I just click here and I copy this one. This is a template name, right? So I copy here and again go to my Android Studio and paste it here. Make sure you have to use the correct name, right? That's why I copy and paste it here. And after that you can see template, the second property, right? Template dot set language, right? So set language, but here language is another object, right? So for that what I'm going to do is I just create a comment. I just put language model, right? So template having the language, right? So I just going to create the model class for the language. So again make sure you are choosing the correct package. Language new language, and this language set code, because if you go to the language, this is having only one setter, right? Only one setter. So if you passing the language code, that will take here, right? Because we are equal, right? So that's why that's a setters, right? Encapsulation. The language code we have to pass, right? So if you go to our message template, so this is English, right? So our language code is EN, right? So if you don't know how to get the language codes, so I mentioned in the previous video very exactly which location you have to go and you have to get that, right? So that's fine, right? So you can see I created model class for the language, right? So but the thing is, if I call this language here, right, we can't get any of the hint because language object only available after we created, right? So I just cut here, and for the understanding purpose I just commented a single comment and paste it here, right? Set language. In here I just copy this one and paste it here. That's fine. So after that you can see this is a 1, right? So for the template name, right, this is a 2 for the language. So actually we are setting the field for the template, right? So name is correct, language is correct. Now the pending thing is components, right? But here you can see, right, components is a list, right? So list of the components, right? So for that case what I'm going to do is, right, so I'm going to create a list of component items, right? I copy this one. So that's, if you haven't copied, that's fine, right? So I just make this one and added comment here. This is for list of component item, right? So I just going to create here component item list, and that's a new array list, right? So that's fine, right? So now we have to concentrate the components, right? Components item, right? So actually we have to concentrate this array, right? So if this is array, that's why we are creating the list, right? So this is nothing complicated here, right? So list of items. So why you want to create the list and expand it to the array list, right? So the thing is, the component is an array, right? So array having one object, right? The one object name is header, right? The second object name is body, right? So you can see second object is a body, right? And third object is a button, and fourth one also a button, right? So these are the different objects, right? So that's why we are creating a list, right? List of components item, right? So again I'm going to the top, you can see. So we will going to represent the first components, right? That is header, right? So this we will going to represent this one, right? So you can see as usual. So if we follow this step, you will not get any of the errors, right? So that's the thing. So what you have to do is, right? So I'm going to open another comment here, right? Here you can see. So if you consider the first one, right? So if you consider this first component, right? So first component curly braces starting here and ending here, right? Because we are getting the comma, right? So I mean in this array we are differentiate the two objects using commas, right? So this is correct, and you can see in that first object, right? Having two things actually, right? So one is type, second one is a parameter, right? Only two things, right? Type and parameter. So as usual we will create a component item, right? So here component item, and I'm going to name it as component item header. Okay, the object name is component item header, right? Object name is component item header, right? So here again calling this object component item header, right? This is having two things, right? One is set I mean in this case this is having the two things, right? Type and the parameters, right? So if you go to the component items, that may have the lot of field, right? We no need to consider about the other field, right? Which is not in this one, right? So if you take this header, only type and parameters are available, right? So we no need to think about the subtype, we no need to think about the index, right? So this field only having the type and the parameter, right? So set type, right? So if the type is a header, right? So I just copy this one header and paste it here, that's fine. And after that you can see parameter again opening one array, right? In this array we are having only one object, right? So if we having commas between two objects inside this array, right? But here we only having the one object inside this parameter. So what you have to do is, right? So we want to create another parameter model class, right? So that's why parameters, right? So if you go here, right, I mean if you go to the components item, right, you can see this is a list. Why this is a list? Because in this JSON format this is opening a array, right? That's why we have to create a list, right? So again this is putting the parameter item, this is another model class, right? So here if you go to that parameters item model class, you can see in our JSON representation we only have two things. One is type, another one is a image, right? So image having only one property, that is a link, right? So nothing complicated here. I just close this parameter item, right? I close this components, right? So here I'm going to create a model class for the parameters item, right? So I just parameter items, new parameter items, right? That's fine. Here in the parameter items we want to set the type, right? So set type, you can see set type is a image, right? So the type is a image. I copy this value, right? And here you can see another one is a image, right? So image, this is not a list, right? This is not array, that's why this is not a list, but this is another object, right? So I'm going to create another object for this one. So don't worry, you will confuse, but end of the video, I 100% sure if you observe correctly, you will get a clear understanding about the JSON structure and the model class and all of the things. I 100% sure guys, right? So don't hesitate to watch this video, right? So you will understand. So when you learn everything firstly in a first time, you will see everything is difficult, right? So it takes some time to adapt your mind, right? So don't confuse, right? So when I also spent almost 2 weeks to understand this one, right? So don't think anything bad, just learn it, right? Learning is a process, right? So not a 1 day or 2 day thing, right? So it takes some time. So that's all. And you can see this is an image, right? So here if you go to the parameter items, right, so this is the one we want, right? So image, this is a object. So I'm going to copy this model class name, right? So I create that image new. So this is not imported. I am going to click Alt Enter to import this one. Import class. Again, this is from the our custom offer model, right? So that's okay. New image, and here image having only one property, right? So actually one setter, right? Public setter. Set link, right? So link is here, we have to pass the link, right? So in this case I'm going to get the online link, I mean an online link, and paste it here. I just search food images URL API and I click the first link, right? So they are just providing kind of apple and something like that, right? So actually I like this red velvet, right? I hope this is the red velvet, I guess. I just click this link. Okay, that's fine. I copy this one, right? So I again go to that actually I copy this URL and go here and paste it, right? So that's fine, right? So now you can see I again going to minimize this one a bit. So whenever you want to start to explore any of the JSON, start from the bottom, right? So then you can understand everything, right? So as usual, actually what we did now, right? So we set that image, right? You can see our image contains our link, right? That's fine. Okay, completed, right? So completed. And after that type, right? So actually set type, that's also completed. So now what I am going to do is I just comment here, right? The parameters item, we set that type is a image, right? But image, but we haven't set that property for the image, right? That's why what I'm going to do is I just call this parameter item and paste it here. This is only accepting the image, right? So here I copy this image and paste it here. That's fine, right? So you can see this is, so I just comment it here, right? So this is, yeah, this is completed because you can see we set the type and the image, right? That's fine. So parameters item is completed, right? So actually our parameters is completed, right? So okay, then fine. Okay, now you can see our components item, right? Our component items, right? So we set the type, right? We only set the type, right? So now we want to set the parameters, right? We only set the type here. You can see we only set the type here. We haven't set the parameters, right? For that case, what I'm going to do is I just, for the setter, I just here and put enter here, and here I am calling the components item header because this is inside the header, right? This is inside the header, right? That's fine. So I put it here, components item, actually component item header, and set this one is a parameter, right? So we are going to set the parameters, right? So parameter is the object which we created before, right? That is having two things. One is the image, another one is the type, right? So type is a image and the value is a image object, right? So I just copy this one parameter, so item, and I set it here, right? So you can see after we set the parameters item, it is showing the error, right? So So but you can see our component header, right? That's correct, right? But why this is showing error, right? So if you go to here, set parameters, right? So if you go to that component item and see parameter items is a list, right? So that's why it's showing the error, right? So for that case, what you have to do is, right, so here I'm going to create list, right, list of parameter items, right? So parameter items, and here I'm going to parameter item list, right? So I'm going to use the good naming convention here for parameter item list for header, right? Then new array list, that's fine. And here parameters item list for header. So now I am going to copy this parameters item for headers and paste it here, right? So after that I add, right? So here I want to add the, right, so this is only accepting the list of parameter items, right? So here if you see this one, right, so the parameter section, this is only having one parameter, right? So I just copy this parameter items and paste it here. What I am going to do is I just remove this one. In the set parameters we have to add one list, right? So if you go to the set parameters, click this one, we have to pass the list, right? So list of parameter item, right? So again I go back that previous place and I copy this one, right, parameter items for header, and paste it here. You can see this is completed actually. Again I am going to give a small introduction so you will understand everything, right? So right, so here I am going to start from the this one. This is for list component items, right? So if you take the components item, right, so this is the components, right? So we are creating one list, right? So why we are creating the list? Because this is an array, that's why we are created a list, right? We only created, we haven't used it. So after that we created a component object, right? So because this is inside this component key, right? So that's why we had to create the component item, right? So we created a component item, we name it as component item header, right? So in the component item header we having the two things actually, type and the parameters, right? For the type we are setting the header, and the parameters we want to have parameter object. That's why we are creating the, that's why we created the parameter item, right? So parameter item. So again parameter item have two things, right? So type and image, right? For the type we just put the type, that's the image, right? For the image, right, set image, we want to have, we want the image object, right? So here that's why we created an image object and set the link, and after that parameter item, right? So this parameter item, this one, right, parameter item, and again we set the image, right? So image, right? So actually this is for the parameter item set image. We are setting the type here, right, parameter item type here, right, and the set image here, right? That's all. So you can see parameter item having only one object, right? So that's why we are creating a parameter item list for the header, and we added this parameter item component item header and set parameters, right? So in the set parameters we added this parameter, this header. That's all. So now I am going to create another component object for the body, right? So if you come here you can see another object for the component body, right? So this one. So now we can speed up the work. I hope we can speed up the work. Let's see. Component item for body. So I copy this one and paste it here and set type. Here type is a body. For represent this component I created component item, right? So this is the second object for the component, right? So that is for the body. I created component item model class, and set the type as body, right? So for the easy understanding purpose, right, so we will start from the bottom, right? So here you can see these parameters having three objects, right? So if you, this is a one object parameter object, this is a second parameter object, this is a third parameter object, right? Because which is inside the array, right? So this is inside the array, right? So now concentrate about this, the bottom one, right? So in this bottom one you can see the bottom object having two things, right? One is type, another one is a date and time, right? So now we concentrate about this date and time, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one model class for the date time, right? Date time. Here I'm going to create one model class, right? So I already created one model class, that is so if you go to that project, you can able to see date time is a model class, right? So date time is a model class, right? So date time, I going to import this one, I minimize this one, I am going to import this one, option enter, date time, right? So that's fine, and equal new date time, and date time setter, set fallback value, right? So we have to pass a fallback value, but that is a string, right? We can see the suggestion, this is string, right? So I just name it as in this format June, you can see in the format this month day, right? So I just call July actually July 2nd, I guess today, yeah, it's July 2nd and 2022, right? That's fine. So we created this object, right? So now we will going to create this object, right? This object, right? So actually what this object, right? This object is a parameters object, right? So I want to create the parameters item, actually this is I just name it as 3, right? So this is inside the third parameters, right? I mean third parameter object, right? 1, this is the second, and this is a third, right? So 3 equal new parameter item 3, actually this one, right? So dot set type, right? So set type, here we have to pass a type, that's a date time, right? So I just put here date time, and after that parameter item 3, then set, right, set date time, right? So if you go to the date time, right, so this is a date time which we created before, right? I copy this one and paste it here. That's fine. So now we completed one object for the parameters item, right? That's fine. I just name it as 3, I just put parameter 3, completed, right? So okay, now fine. So now, so we will consider about this second object, right? Second object. So you can see in the second object, right? So second object having two things, one is type and second one is a currency, right? So as usual we want to create that we want to start our implementation from the bottom. So in the bottom having only one thing, right? That's called currency. So I'm going to create the currency. So again currency from the offer model, right? I just hit enter, currency, right? New currency, and after that currency dot set fallback value code amount underscore 1000, right? So code, right? So in this code actually our currency code is a USD, right? And after that currency set amount, right? And another one is a currency set fallback value. So actually what is this amount and the fallback value? For example, fallback value mean, for example, just imagine we are going to give the discount as dollars, right? $3.5, right? So 3.5, right? But here what we want to do is we have to multiply this one, right? This value into 1000. So if you multiply this value into the 1000, right, we will get actually we will get like this, right? So the set amount 1000 mean 3500, right? That's all. And after that you can see type, right? So here again this is a, again you can see again this is a parameter object, right? So I'm going to create a parameter object. So this is for the second parameter object, right? So I mean this is for the second, I can select here, yeah, second parameter object, right? So I just scroll down, parameter item second, right? So new parameter item, and after that parameter item 2 dot set type, right? So type is a currency. I copy this one and paste it here, and after that parameter item 2 dot set currency. So currency is the object which we created before. That's why I start the implementation from the bottom, right? So I hope in this point you will get the understanding, right? So that's fine. So you can see second one also fine. You can see now we can speed up our work, right? So here parameters having the, so parameter object. So this is don't have any of the special object, right? What we can do is directly we can create that parameter object, right? So parameter, actually parameter item, right? So parameter item 1 equal to new parameter item, right? Why is 1? This is the 1 point, right? This is the second, this is the third, right? So again I am calling the parameter item 1 set type. In the type, that's a text, right? So I just name the text because this is a text, right? This is text. And second one parameter item dot set text, right? So here this is a type, this is a text, right? So here I want to pass the point Petro is a text which we are going to replace in the offer, right? So that's fine. So you can see parameter object, we completed this one and this one, right? You can see this is inside the parameter list, right? So right, so what do you want to do is, right, so parameter items 3, parameter items 2 and parameter items 1. So I'm going to create one list here. List for body params item, right? Here I am going to name as list okay params item list for body, right? New array list, right? So I just copy this one, right? I copy this one, end of this one, right? So as usual I put a single quotation, single command line and paste this one body and add, I want to add, right? So I want to add 3 things, right? Because this is a parameter list we are created, right? So parameter list we created, right? So in the array, and first one, second one and the third one, right? So as usual this is the parameter item 1, right? And control D this one, I mean duplicating 2 and the 3. That's what this is, we set it correctly. Component item for body, right? Because if you go to the component item for body, that is accepting the list of parameter item, right? So which means we set the type, right? So we set the type, but then we have to set the, right? So we have to set the components item for body set, you can see set parameters, right? So this parameter is a list, right? So this is a list which we created before, just before, right? So so that's why I cut this one, right? So cut this one, right? I put it here, go to here and single command and set parameters and parameter body, right? So parameter body, okay, this is a parameter body, right? That's fine. Okay, that's the parameter body. We set it correctly. So now we completed the body. So you guys see after that there are another thing that is for the button, right? So button, right? So another type button. As usual, we can speed up the work and we will start from the bottom, right? So here in the bottom you can see this field having we will start from here parameters, right? So in the parameters we can create one parameter for the button, right? So parameter item, again the button, I started here button, right? So here parameter item not for button 1, new parameter item, that's fine. Parameter item button 1 dot set type is a payload, and the second parameter item button 1 dot set payload. I just name it as anything, A or B, something fine, any text you can put it here as a payload, right? So we created, right? So now you guys see we created a parameters, right? So that's fine. Then we can directly call the button, right? So this is for the button parameter, right? So now we can create that components, right? Because why is component? Again I am telling, this is inside the components, right? Directly inside the component, right? So this is a component, so this is another component, and this is also another component, right? So I am again mentioning, guys, because you want to get the understanding, right? That so now you guys see I want to create that component items, component item button 1, right? So button 1 new component item, right? So component item. So now I calling this component item button 1 and set two things, right? Not two things, actually four things, right? Set type, the first one is a type, right? Set type here button button, right? So here you can see my cursor, this is a button, right? So that's fine. And component item and component item button 1 and set subtype, so subtype, and here this is a quick replay, right? So quick. So the only best thing, you have to copy and paste it, because I am typing here, because if I type here then again that selected part will be removed, right? That's the only thing. Component button 1 and set index, right? So index starting from the 0, I just give 0, and again component item button 1 dot set parameters. Parameters is one which we created before, right? Button parameter, I just copy this one, this is expecting the parameter item, right? So here after I paste it, you guys see, right, we are getting the error, which means this is a, you can see in the error also we can see required type is a list, but we are passing the parameter item object. So that's a case, what we had to do is, right, so we have to create, I just go here, I just created one comment. After the comment I created list of parameter item, list parameter item list, right? Parameter item list, and we can name it as parameter button 1 new array list, right? So here that's fine. Again I copy this one, right? So after ending this one I put here, and then I add this parameter item 1, I copy this one and paste it here. We have created one list of parameter item. After we creating the parameter item, we created one object for the parameter items, right? And we set the value. After we set the value, we take that object and put it to the list of the parameter item. So now we are taking, so now our parameter item list containing this button parameter. So we take that list, right? Take that list and put it here. Now it's fine. That's all. If you expand this one, right, so I just copy this link and open it here, right? You can see this is having the two buttons, right? So what you have to do is, right, so we have to create the same object again, right? So I'm going to speed up the work, right? So this is, I just put button to starting, right? So starting, okay, that's fine. And here you can see parameters, right? Parameters, so which means I want to create the parameter item button 2, new parameter item button 2, set type is a payload, right? So I just copy this one and paste it here, and parameter item button 2, right? Then set payload is a text. You can put whatever name you want, right? So actually you have to give the link or whatever things, you have to read the documentation for the payload actually, right? So that's all. And here I'm going to create list of, why is a list again? This is inside the parameter, this is inside the array, right? Parameters array, right? So list parameterized item, I copy here and paste it here, parameter item list button 2, okay, parameter item button 2, so not this one actually, I copy this one and paste it here, dot add, I copy this one and paste it here. Now it's fine, right? So now we added the text. So now again go to open the inside this one, again this is inside the component item, right? Component item button 2, new component item, that's fine. Component item button 2 dot set, the first one is the type button, second one component item button 2, what's the second one? Subtype, right? So subtype is a quick replay, after that is the index, right? Set index is a 2, actually not 2, index is a 1, because previously we give it as 0, I guess, right? So now it's 1. Now after that components item button 2 dot set parameters. Is this parameter expecting a list of parameters as usual? This is the one which you created before using these parameters, right? So I just copy this one and paste it here. So as usual we completed, right? So actually we completed entire thing here. So now we are going to recheck again. So I'm going to the top here, right? So again in the left side also I'm going to the top, that's fine. Okay, yeah, we starting from the get JSON data, this is a method, right? So okay, so custom of a model, right? So custom of a model, we creating a custom of a model, we set up the messaging product as a WhatsApp, and reception type is the individual, and 2 is a phone number, right? And the type is a template, and the fourth one the template, right? Actually fourth one is a template, right? So we have to set the value for the template, right? So because of this, what we are doing is, so in order to set up this template, right, so we have to create a template object. So after we create the template object, right, so we just name the template object, right? So we just name it, right? So after that in the template object, if you go to the template object, you can see this is accepting the other two parameters, right? Not only the theme, this is accepting the list of components and the language, right? So for that case, we are created one language object, and again we set up in the set language section, right? So that's fine. And after that, we create a components item list, right? So component item list, why we are creating the component item list? Because component item list, right? So for this one, for this key, we created the component item list, right? But you can see this is not highlighted, which is mean after we created, we haven't used this value, right? So for that case, what I'm going to do is, right, component item list here, right? So component item list, I just again I just copy this one. Actually I forgot, we will do the things later for this custom of a model set template, right? So we will complete this one, right? So after we create that component item list, which means this one, right, component list item, right? So component list item, I copy this one, in bottom I paste it here. Component list item is array list. So in here we want to add, right? So we want to add, you can see component item list, we want to add this one, right? This one and other two properties, right? So for that case, first we will going to add the first component item, right? So that is for component header, right? So then we name it as component header, right? So component item header, that's the first one, right? And right, so second one is a second one is a component item body, right? So yeah, second one is a component item body, right? So just we will come here, component item header, right? The first one. The second one, component item for body, because this is a header, right? This is a header and this is a body, component item body, right? So another one and another one, this is the third one for the button, right? Component for button, okay, this is the one, component item button one, right? So button one, this one, component item button 2, right? So component item button 1, component item button 2, that's all. After that, you can see we added all the components, right? We added all the components, which means we added all the components into the component item list, because which is inside the array, right? That's why. So now we have to add these components into the template, right? That's why what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment again component list item, right? So first I'm going to that the previous comment, right? This here in the template, right? So template having three things, right? Name, language, components. We added name here and language here. The only one item is pending, that is for the component item, right? So again I am typing template set components, right? So you can see this component accepting the list of components item, right? So this is the one which we created, that's all. I paste it here. Okay, this is fine, and another one is pending. Now we want to add the template into our main thing. What is the main thing? Main thing is our main class, right? So main class means this one, custom of a model set template, right? So I just copy this one and go into the bottom, right, and paste it here in the set template. I call this template here, right? So now everything is correct, but we have to make sure we done it in a good way. I mean, we have to compare our model class JSON format into this one, right? So for that case, what I'm going to do is, so you guys see in the dependency section, we have to add one library, that Google library called Json library Android. Just search here and go to that the first link. Actually not the first link, the GitHub link, and here you can able to see one dependencies, right? Google.com code.json, right? Copy this one. I go to here and I paste it here and I click sync now. Because after we add this JSON, we have to convert our model class into the JSON. Then we can compare the actual JSON format with our generated JSON format, right? Then we will get a good clarity. That's all. So here there are one parameter called toJSON, right? So here I am going to pass the component model. If you pass the component model here, right, we can get the JSON format here. So string JSON, I just string JSON from model, right? That's all. So this is inside the, right, I just put the one locate here, right? So lock, okay, right, actually we haven't created the tag here. I just go to the top here and I click here, I just type log t, okay, then fine, main activity 2, right? So now our tag is become the purple color, and here I plus this one and call this string, right? We can directly call this one, that's fine. And I run this app, because you can see I am calling this method, right? I am calling this get JSON data into the onCreate method. So whenever we launch our activity, the onCreate method will trigger, and inside this get JSON data will trigger, and end of the line we can able to get the JSON from model, right? So that's all. I just run this one. So it's launched, right? So I just open the locate here, right? You can able to see I just did here. Better we can do one thing, like, so it's actually we got our response here, right? So this is a response, right? For the understanding purpose, what I am going to do is, right, so I want to create here I am going to create one on click button dot set on click listener, new on click listener, right? So that's all. And this and another thing I just explained, you can replace this one with lambda, right? So I just cut here and put it inside. So whenever we click the button, we will get the JSON format from our model class. I just open the locate. You can see in the locate main activity 2, which means this will filter our this specific activity, right? So tags, and I selected the current application, right, my WhatsApp, and I selected the emulator, right? So now I am going to press the send. So after I press the send, you can see we will get this response, right? So what I'm going to do is I just copy from here. This is the one starting, right? So I copy here, I copy it, and now I am going to that Chrome and open JSON compare, and there are one link jsondiff.com. I just open this one. Here I paste this one, and here I want to paste the link which I copied from the Medium, right? Medium, my post. And please make sure to follow in my Medium, guys. And I am going to that JSON diff and paste it here, and I just click compare, right? So here I am getting the exception, right? So number, right? So again that same thing, right? So I just come here and that's fine. Now I click compare. So you can see everything is correct actually, right? So you can see only one thing is we can able to see, right? So the image link we replace it with a different thing, right? So and the point with true, and here is the text string, right? So text string, here we replace the text string with the point with true, our branch name, and here amount underscore 1000, and that is empty here, and we replace it with 3500, and code is to USD, that's similar, and fallback value 3.5, right? So here we just replace that value, and here the date, right? So the date, and you can able to see, right, that ash color one is a differentiate one, right? So payload is a, and here we pass the payload text, right? So that's all. And here ASD, and here payload, and language code say English, and name is a custom food template, and to type, right? So everything is correct now, right? Actually we created a format correctly, and now what I am going to do is, so you can see So I'm calling here this one. So this is returning the void, right? Nothing. So I'm going to make this with return this type, right? Custom of a model, right? So I just copy this one, custom of a model, and go to the bottom line and return this one, return custom of a model. That's fine. Now it's pretty awesome, right? So it's returning the custom of a model. So you can see this is returning the custom of a model, right? So I just return type, right? So I'm going to create one custom of a model. That's fine. This is fine. Our COM contains the custom of a model, right, which we generated. So here so as usual, I'm going to my main activity, right? Here I'm going to make the JSON request, going to the IAPI service, right? So here I just minimize here. Again, this is a post request, so I no need to again create the same request again. So I just copy here and paste it here. This is showing the error initially because I can copy and paste, the two different name can be at the same place, right? So if it's in same place, we have to at least make as polymorphism, right? So I mean which means overloading, right? So it means other parameters, but send message template, right? Or send message offer, that's fine, everything is fine. Here is returning the message object, right? So I am just replace with object, right? That's fine. Phone number, ID, and the request model. So this is the request model, which means our body parameter, right? So in this case, our body parameters is a custom of a model, right? So this is the one which we created, right? Custom of a model. I copy this custom of a model, right? I paste it here and custom of a model. That's all. And I'm going to import this one here, right? So I just alt enter or option enter, that's fine. I imported here custom of a model, that's fine. And send message offer, this is a method which I'm going to implement it, right? So here again I come here and you can see you guys see in the main activity, right? So we already created this one, right? So we have to create the IAPI service instance, and then we have to create like this, right? I mean create the singleton, and from that we have to create the class for the IAPI service, right? So IAPI service is a interface, right? So we can create object for the interface, that's why we are using retrofit instance and implementing and like this and creating the object, right? So that's all, nothing actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the same code here and go to the main activity 2 and paste it here, but make sure you have to do some additional changes here, right? So we created the IAPI service object, and here this is a object, right? So this is a object, right? So because we don't know what is the output, right? That's why this is object. And if we make this one as object, right, I copy this one, right, and this one we have to change. Actually from here I had to change this one and this one and this one and finally this one. So now the error is gone. So here the phone number ID, right? So then we will go and check the phone number ID and we will replace it. And request model, here what is our request model? This is a request model, right? So custom of a model is our request model, right? So if you go to the send message, right, this is having two parameters. One is the phone number ID, second one is a custom of a model, right? So I again come back here and that's all. Just click here, yeah. So here I just type COM. So com is the one which we struggling to create it before, not struggling, we learning to create it before, right? So here, so it's showing the error actually. What will happen, what's the thing, why is error? Okay, this is expecting the request model. Thing is correct because we haven't changed the method name, right? So we go here, we use this method, right? But we created this method, right? Custom of I just back here and I name the name. So that's a usual mistake that every developers makes, right, while coding the project. And this one also fine, right? So now I am going to my app dashboard. So you can see I'm getting some error message. Just ignore this one. Before that, you have to make sure whether you can able to send the request or not, right? So I just send a message here. You can see I got the message in my WhatsApp, so that's fine. Yeah, now you can see again I'm going to that my Android Studio project, and here you can see there are one retrofit instance. Right here we no need to change anything here, but only one thing we have to change, that is inside this my interceptor, right? So here you can see if you paste the permanent token here, then you no need to worry about that. Actually I created one video for getting the permanent token, right? So but if you are using a temporary access token, right, so you can see you have to use this token each and every time when we are doing the testing, right? So for that case I copy this one, right? So here I just select this one, I delete this one and paste it here, right? So now I paste my token, so now everything is fine actually, right? So if I click, I should go on to send the request from my Android device to my WhatsApp number, right? So here again I come here, so phone number ID, whether I want to check whether it's correct or not, right? So phone number ID, I just copy this one, this is end with 85, but it seems, yeah, it's correct, right? Again I will paste this one because sometime I might miss anything. So this is correct, and I am sending the request, right? So I run the app now. Yeah, it's running, but you can see my current time is 8 o'clock, actually evening 8 o'clock 10 minutes, but here in the device time it's 3 o'clock 58 minutes, right? So if I send this one, I open the locate here, so if I click this send request, let's see what will happen. You can see I'm getting the correct JSON format, right? That's correct, but you can see chain validation fail. So this is the existing error we got in the last video, right? So we have to change the time in the emulator, we have to change the correct time, right? So I just search time here, I click time and I click off this one, and this is in the February, right? So that's the main mistake, and second, okay, and the time is 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, it's around 11, right? So PM, that's fine, okay. Again open the logit, so I'm going to clear the logs and I click the send request. I haven't get the response. Yeah, now I get the response and I can able to, you can see the success code is 200. Actually I get my response in my device. And please make sure to subscribe, guys. So subscribe is only my motivation to work on further, right? So please make sure to subscribe, and thank you so much, guys. And if your friends seeking for this kind of implementation, please recommend this channel for the WhatsApp Cloud API. So you can see in the playlist section, so I am creating almost like 7 videos. So if I upload this video, so that will be a 8 video in this series. So from my side I am only having one pending thing, right? That is getting the response from the user, right? So for that currently I am learning the webhook, because I am not a guy who is special in the backend, right? So I am doing the mobile development and some other web developments, right? But and API development as well. But here the only thing is I want to host that webhook, then we can get the response from the user, right? So, and that's the only thing, guys. So if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. So because I am frequently posting some of the needed information about the technology. And that's all, guys, and thank you so much.